everybody, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. So if you're watching this the day that I post it, we are one day away from the January catalog and celebration catalogs going live. I can't wait. I love catalog kickoff days. If you go to my website or to my, the best way is if you're on my email list, but if you're watching this and it's already sent, that won't help you. But if you go to my blog, it'll be underneath this. You'll have to go to tomorrow's post. I will have all of my catalog kickoff specials and my monthly thank you gifts, the host code that you need, all of that on my website. I have the photo ready with the things, but there's two reasons I haven't posted it yet. Sometimes the day before catalog launch, they tell us if something's running low or not available. And I don't want to tell you that this is your free gift and then it not be available. Plus, we're not supposed to show any inside images of the catalog, and I use those in my little pictures. So on the 4th, you can be able to see. So I'll have specials for the whole month, and then I'll also have a couple if you purchase from me the 4th, 5th, and 6th. So you'll be able to earn up to 4 things from me this month, plus my VIP projects. So before we go, here's the catalog. If you don't have it, I don't have my Celebration one laying here, which is, I should, because I'm using something from Celebration on this card. If you don't have one yet, let me know. If you're my customer, you should have gotten one. I know there were a couple of you that have had mail issues. Those all went back out after Christmas. So if you still don't have it, or if you've never had one before and you'd like me to send you one and you're in the US, let me know. So I have a bunch of videos that you can go watch. This one is obviously with the catalog, front catalog set. So this one is there. I made the ice cream with some embossing paste. Then there's just a couple of these. Some of them, like this one, you may have missed because it posted over Christmas and I didn't send an email. So if you've missed that one, go catch that one. This was last month's camp project, and that is Celebration paper. This is this month's club. Did I say camp? Club. Club suite, but this is the club card, and I just did this one this week as well. So this one's a new one. So go catch those if you haven't seen them all. Today I'm going to use Thoughtful Expressions. So when I first saw the set, I have lots of flowers. We've had lots of hummingbirds, but I really liked the words. But sometimes, you know, when I'm ordering a ton of stuff, I'm like, I'm not sure if the words are going to push me over the edge. But then take a look at the dies. That pushed me right over. So here are the dies, less the ones I'm using today. So I'm using 2 of these layering shapes on today's card. Then the thing to cut out to this, and then some little leaves. So the dies for these and these, spectacular. If you don't want the set, but I like that it has different words. So today I'm using Sometimes There Are No Words, which, yeah, sometimes there's no words in the stamp set, but this, in this case, is for Sympathy. And we've had, just on the periphery of our family, I know several people who've had a really rough, like extremely rough go over Christmas. So sometimes there are no words, and sometimes it's nice to have your Sympathy cards ready ahead of time, because it's never fun to create them. So if you're doing them and you just have a stash, it's a little bit easier to send them. It's got You're in My Thoughts Today, Where in the World Would I Be Without You, and then Enjoy Your Day. So the Celebration item that I'm using is a folder, and it is free with $100 because it comes with a stamp set. I don't have the stamp set here, but I'm thinking the stamp set is also flowers and probably some other words that you could add. But the stitching on this matches the stitching on this perfectly, which you'll see in a minute when I use it. So then the paper, okay, I'm working on my Try It class, and this is what happens when I do Try It, is I hack a bunch, like one paper packet pretty much ends up being like experimental, like everything just gets, so this card's beautiful, but I did use quite a lot of paper coming up with it. So it is called, it's the same suite as that. I don't know if I have the paper in here. It is called Poetic Expressions. So you can see that it looks like it might be a pink and moody mauve. This is Bubble Bath, Wild Wheat, and Moody Mauve. And that is the card that I'm doing today. If you're doing my Try It class, that's the colors that we're gonna use in Try It. But if you flip this pack over, then it becomes greens and blues, which is kind of fun. It's like 2 packs of paper in one, and I really, really love this. But I liked some of the Wild Wheat better. And I couldn't get them all on either card, so we're going Bubble Bath and Mauve on the cards. But if you'd rather use those, you can flip them over and use the blue sides. it also reminds me of the 80s. It's like an 80s pack of paper. So let's get going on this. It doesn't take very long at all to make. We have wild wheat for our background. Just standard card size, fold in half. Oh, there it is. And then I cut these. This piece is smaller, and you want to know why it's cut smaller? Because all of the paper that I was using up to design my Try class, I had lots of Moody Mauve cut to sizes that I no longer needed for my Try class. So this is cut like 3 and 3/4 by 5, I think. And it doesn't really matter. I just wanted it to kind of be off center. I kind of like when my Sympathy cards don't feel perfect. And then I have a piece of the Designer Series paper. I'm going to cut it out with this size of the shape. And then we have just some white paper to do our stamping. And then this, again, the reason it's this size is because I have a bunch of those. And my husband gets mad because I'm going to need a lot of this paper for Try It class. And I have hacked up a sheet. But I just made these two match. So those match. That's going to be our background. So the colors of ink that I chose are just inspired by the paper. They're actually inspired by this piece, the Wild Wheat, Bubble Bath, and then the Moody Mauve. And I'm going to cut this out of this. I always find it's easier, because this is not a photopolymer set, to just go ahead and stamp it and then we'll run it through. So I'm going to use Moody Mauve, and this Sometimes There Are No Words stamp, because it's easier to center your die than it is sometimes to center that. Although that's pretty straight. If I tried to do that on a card, it probably wouldn't work. And then I did need to get out the You're in My Thoughts Today. Stamp that in Moody Mauve on the inside of your card, but I didn't have it out the first time, and I still don't have it out. So you see, now I can put this on here and spin this around so it's nice and straight on there. Then on this little white piece here, it's just a little scrap. I'm going to stamp the flowers, the stamps that are in the set that match this. And I'm going to stamp those in Wild Wheat because I'm just using this as my inspiration. So I'm going to do 2 of them. And then I'm going to use my Bubble Bath and my Wink of Stella, just smash on it to get it. So it has some ink, and it doesn't take very much. Oh, I guess I need my... I ended with Wild Wheat last time, and I told myself to remember that. I'm just going to quickly color in my leaves with the Wild Wheat, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You're just kind of brushing some color on there. And I also did not freshly squeeze my Stella. I wanted to have a hint of shimmer, but it's a Sympathy card, so you don't want it to be glitzy, right? There's a little bit of Wild Wheat, and just clean that off so you don't get pukey Bubble Bath. And then just grab some pink. Now, the secret to this is to not try to catch the edges. Again, the Wild Wheat could mix with it. So just dab some Bubble Bath on the inside, which is exactly how these are. If you look at these, they're not straight in there. Some of them are empty. So I'm going to go with the artist. Look, I didn't even stamp that one well, but that's how those are. So it doesn't matter. Gotta match this paper perfectly. So those are painted. Just give this another wash off, so the next time you grab it, it doesn't have pink on it. So I am going to cut, this has a die, here's the little leaves. I'm going to use Distressed Gold, and then I'm going to do the circle that I stamped the sentiment on. All right, I've cut those out, and I'm going to take this, and I'm going to put my piece of Designer Series paper on it before I run it through. It'll just ensure that my lines are lined up, the little stitch marks. So when you put it in this folder, it is one where you want to make sure that it's pretty straight. And remember, the Stampin' Up is right side up, and the line there is to help guide you to make sure it's straight. The other thing that you can do if you have an issue getting them where you like on the edges and the top and the bottom is make this piece bigger and then trim it down. But you do want to make sure that, see, because if it's crooked, those are not going to look good. I'm trying to angle it so you can see it. I'm going to have to angle it my way in a second. So I've got this line right along that line there, and because that is straight, then you know that your die will run through straight. And it's so pretty. And again, this one's free with the $100 purchase, but it's because it is a bundle and it comes with a stamp set. I seriously need to clean off my table. Last month in club, we used embossing paste on all of our projects, and then I made a couple of other videos and I used embossing paste, and there's like, I think it's just like powder. I don't exactly know where it came from. And the gold leaf. The gold leaf's kind of beautiful, but so here is this. It's very pretty. You could always take a blending brush if you wanted and add a little bit more definition to these by rubbing a little bit of mauve over it. But again, I'm doing a sympathy card, so I'm okay with it this way. Let's stick this on our wild wheat. And again, remember, I want my sympathy cards to not be like, not centered. I don't know what it is about me and sympathy cards, but that's how I'm going to do it. So here is, I want to show you this. These are the kind of dies that also do the stitching around the edge. So for this particular card, I don't need it. But if you are layering them one on top of the other, then you can start with a back that has a window or something if you want that stitched. So it does stitches on both sides. And it's going to match the stitch of our folder. Let's add this here. Now with this paper, you just want to make sure that these are going straight, and then that will kind of help determine. So when I put my die on here, I did try to get it so the little loopies here were with this straight. Otherwise, it'll look like you have crooked wallpaper. And then you'll just line your other ones up from this. Then I'm going to use my two-way glue to do the rest. So this suite does not have any ribbon. So there's no ribbon if you're in Try It class on this card. I thought about adding this, but I kind of liked the card without it. We went overboard on the embellishments on that card. It's from the annual catalog, and it's the in color twine. So you get in all the colors. I could have put some on yesterday's Pebbled Path card. So this is just two little pieces that I have cut, and I've already used one strand of it for the other card. You don't want a lot of it. So I'm just going to pull this apart. And see, you get, I used one similar to this on my other card, and then it leaves this big one here. On this one, you can get even more. This is a little bit more hairy. So you get a whole lot out of just a little piece when you separate it like this. Just untwist it. And then for the yellow, I'm going to go for it. On the wild wheat, I can't talk, and the moody mauve, I'm going to pick two different textures on this one. So I'm going to add some glue here. I'm going to use my two-way glue because the embellishments in this take two-way glue. So I'm just going to stick my things on with it to start out with. Plus, if I don't like the layout and you use glue, you can pull it up because it gives you a little bit longer to kind of mess with it. Now for this card, I want to make sure that my centers meet up right here, because they're not the most beautiful centers. And normally I would tie a ribbon and kind of the bottom of the bouquet, I would cover that up. But because I went with the twine, there is no bottom of the bouquet. So I'm going to take these and I'm going to pull them up just a little bit higher. And I can lift this up and move it there. So I have this little blob here. I'm going to take the champagne iridescent dots. I love them. They're so pretty and they're really easy to work with, but it does help to have the two-way glue pen and then to have the sticky tip of your Take Your Pick, which if you buy from me over the catalog kickoff days, could be one of your free gifts. I'm going to do 5. I'm going to do 1 here, and that will kind of cover up that. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to start with 5, and then if I think I need more, I can add more. I think I have 5 on my other one. So pick the largest size. They come in maybe 4 different sizes, maybe 5. I don't know. Several different sizes of these gems. This is the other tip that I love. Love that tip. So I'm going to try to get different sizes. The little ones tend to all sink to the bottom. So you have to kind of be intentional when you pick a little one. Let's see, there's these teensy tiny ones. Put the teensy tiny one right there. We have that. And then I just wanted to have a little bit more. It was a little bit too white for me. Again, sympathy card, and I'm going for not perfection. Get all my lids back on, a little on this, a little on my glue. So we have some background stamps right now that I used before Christmas. There's a whole set of them as part of the online exclusives. But I'm always a fan of just spritzing some blend color on because they'll match. So I have my dark wild wheat. You want to use the brush tip. We do this at all of my in-person classes. I do it all the time. It doesn't ruin your blends. I'm mostly trying to get right here on the edge of that wild wheat so it doesn't look flat, and then a little bit on my words. And if it's better to do one hard whack instead of little tiny taps. Little tiny taps don't get you anywhere. So just get all the things that make us mad that we have to send sympathy cards. Just take those frustrations out as you hit that. And now you have a beautiful sympathy card that you can stick over in an envelope. I would, again, stamp the inside with the "You're in My Thoughts." And then I would also add maybe just this in wild wheat to some envelopes and go ahead and just have them ready. It's so much easier to have them ready when you need to send them. I have a couple of people I can send these to today when I'm done with using them. So everybody have a great day. I will see you back here for a catalog kickoff, and make sure you're on my email list so you have all of the information of what's happening. Have a great one. Bye.